Welcome back to the Roger Sarn podcast where we talk all things Army, and I'm your host, Sarn Cruz. And it's Financial Readiness Friday Mission Money, the segment that's geared towards equipping our soldiers with the knowledge and tools they need to conquer financial goals. Today, we're talking about the debt avalanche method versus the debt snowball method. Tell me which one works for you.
Roger Sarn.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Real fast, let's start this off with always the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're listening to the podcast, go ahead and drop a download, review, and thank you guys. So before we start, as always, we want to do the shout out. And the shout out goes today to Jose Merles. And he says, and this is for the 7 baby steps. Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. I learned this in high school and needed a reminder. Thank you. Guys, again, this is why I do it, to help you guys out. I've used these steps. I've used all this stuff. It works. He said he learned it in high school. So they are teaching this stuff. It's nothing new. It's just application. That's all that it's about. It's about application and discipline. Next thing I want to do is I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers. Since March, May, since April, I've gotten a substantial amount of subscribers, and I appreciate it. El Randy 809 desde la Barraca. From the barracks. I like that one. Tagosi 34G for life. Cable 069. Rose Hernandez. Sergi Zervets. Brandon Wicks. Hero Food. Isaac De La Oz. Newbody. Mike Roby. Carlos. Ezekiel Bancoli. Freelancer Rafi. Aaron Francis. Jose Vega. Kevin Perry. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. To be honest with you, it's not easy doing this stuff, but it's well worth it at the end of the day, in my opinion, because I think this is my calling to help you guys out. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the agenda. So we're going to talk about debt avalanche versus the debt snowball. And then we're going to talk about the debt avalanche itself. We're going to give you a couple of examples to use right here, and then we'll talk about the debt snowball, and then we'll summarize everything. All right, so hopefully you guys can pick a method and stick to it, because like I said, it's nothing new. I see these videos on YouTube all the time, see them on all social media. It's all about you applying it to your day-to-day life. Like I said before, you guys are going to have to, it's going to come to a point that you're going to have to pick. Do you want to struggle? Don't do like I did. I got married all late or early and stuff like that, and I chose the family, and I didn't save any money immediately. If you're going to go that route by getting married, choosing the family, you can still save money. So do all your hard work on the front end, so when you're my age, you can live your life, okay? All right, off my soapbox as always, we're going to talk about debt avalanche and the debt snowball. They're both methods of paying off debt. It's just that one prioritizes interest, the other one prioritizes the debt. So the debt avalanche itself, it prioritizes the high interest rates. So what it's going to do is going to maximize your savings in the long run, right? On the flip side, you have the debt snowball method, and that's for tackling kind of like all the smaller debts, that kind of like hitting the low-hanging fruit, if you will. It builds momentum, and at the same time, it keeps you psychologically motivated. So between the two, you're going to pick one, hopefully, and then you're going to stick to it. So debt avalanche, it's the best one mathematically, right? Like interest rate long term, okay? The concept itself, it focuses on tackling the debt with the highest interest rate first. Um, why are you tackling the highest interest rate first? And that's just to save money in the long run, because it's going to take you time to pay the debt off anyway. So why not pay it off in that manner? Um, the thing about the strategy is just going to prioritize the interest rate, right? Paying off debt with the high interest rate first, and then you're going to make minimum payments on all the other ones. So if I have a big debt of $8,000, but I have another one of $4,000, and the $4,000 is 20% and the eight is 10%, then I'm going to focus on that 20%. That makes sense. Um, and like I said, the benefit is that it's going to save you money in the long run, because it takes time to pay debt. Let's just, no one, well, not no one, but many of us that I'm talking to um, don't have the money to just pay off the debt. Because if you did, then you wouldn't have the debt, right? We're not talking about houses. We're not talking about assets. We're talking about revolving debt. All right. So the good part about it is that it's very efficient, because it's the most efficient way to pay debt, because it minimizes total interest paid. You'd be surprised at all the interest that we pay because we're not understanding it. And if you don't know how to calculate interest, I'll post a video somewhere around here, and it's about how to calculate interest and understanding interest. I put this out a while back ago. So let's go into an example, and it's a small example, kind of like what I said. So if you have a credit card and it's 20%, and you have an interest rate, yeah, the interest rate is 20%, and you have, let's say, a student loan or something, and that's 6%. Yeah, anything over 6% for a student loan, they're killing you. But I haven't seen anything higher. So with the Avalanche method, which one would you focus on? Leave it in the comments below. But I'm gonna tell you, for the sake of the video, it's the 20% one, right? Because the 20% is higher, and then you're gonna focus on the 6% later. I don't care what the amount is for the 20% credit card. It can be $1,000, and your student loan debt could be $8,000. When it comes to the Avalanche method, you want to focus on the highest percentage. It's just the way it is. That's the way it is, because it's mainly geared towards individuals who have a lot of revolving debt. Debt, credit card one, credit card two, three, four, personal loans. I'm talking about like car loans, student loans, medical bills, if whatever it is that you can think about that you can owe. And I'm talking about like loan shark, payday loans, anything. That's what it's focused on. It's focused on for the individuals who have a stack of debt. If you only have a couple of debts like this, then obviously you still use the same method, but you'll get out of debt a lot faster. All right, so the next one is going to be the debt snowball. And like I told you before, it's better emotionally, right? Because psychologically, you got to understand, like when you start getting these small wins, like when you start doing, let's say, push-ups, for instance, right? And you start off and you can only do like 30 push-ups. And then the next week you can do 40 push-ups. You know what? Scratch that. Let's say you're saving $50 a paycheck, and then you come to a point that you can start saving $75 a paycheck. Then you come to a point you can start saving $100 a paycheck. That makes you feel better, and it gives you more confidence to do more and more, right? So it emphasizes on the smallest, the concept is that it emphasizes on the smallest bills first, regardless of interest rate, because you're trying to knock out those small wins, those small wins. Like I said, there's a strategy to it, and you're gonna knock out the smallest debt first, but you're still gonna make minimum payments on everything else, right? And then the benefit is obviously it's the psychological boost. Uh, it's it's the sense of accomplishment at the end of the day, right? It's when you do something, it just makes you feel better. Small wins. I'm not gonna. I can't repeat it. I can't say it anymore. I can't emphasize it anymore, because I just want to get it through you guys' head. If you're in debt, you can get out of debt. I promise you. Right now, I have one of my people that I know that's in the military. This individual had an enormous amount of debt. And that individual has been taking little by little and hacking them out, hacking them out. By the end of the year, they should be out of debt. Credit score should be up where it needs to be. They want to purchase a house. Obviously, they qualify for the VA loan, but that's neither here nor there. You got to get out of debt first in order to be able to afford things, right? Because you have a certain debt to income ratio that the VA loan looks at. And I'll do a video on buying VA loans because I've used it a couple times already. Guys, if you haven't used a VA loan, you better start using it. I'm telling you, it's the best kept secret. It's not even a secret, but it's the best thing since sliced bread. And it builds momentum. That's the efficiency, right? It builds momentum. You pay off each debt. Next one, smallest, the smallest, the smallest, the smallest. And that creates like a snowball effect, which is why it's called the snowball method, right? You're just making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that snowball is debt freedom. That's what it is. It's debt freedom because as you're compiling all those wins and wins and wins, you're just being financially free. And that's the buzzword, financial freedom. What is it called? What's the other one? Generational wealth, power couple. There's a whole bunch of buzzwords. And if you want to be able to apply those buzzwords to your lifestyle, you got to get out of debt, bro. That's the bottom line. You got to get out of debt, people. And unless it's your house, then you shouldn't want to be in debt. Cars are kind of like they're acceptable to a certain point. You don't want to be having a car for a 7-year term. I think they're even doing 8-year terms now. I can't remember. I think I've seen online that I've read. I think it's 84 months or something like that. Yeah, that's because 60 months, 5 years, 72 is 6 years, 7 years, 84 freaking months. You know what it is? Almost a decade to pay on a car. Stop it. I wish I had that sound effect. Stop it. Get some help. Do not get into those. Those are the unacceptable car loans. If you're in a car loan for like hopefully 3, maximum 5 years, maybe because you're young and you just can't afford the huge payment because you decided you want to get the scat pack or whatever it is that you're going to get. I don't know. I advise against it. But what I'm saying is there's acceptable car loans and it's all dependent on the terms. An example of the snowball method, if you have a credit card that's like $500, then you have a personal loan that's like $200, then you have a student loan that's like $5,000, and you want to start paying off the $500 first, then you move into the $2,000, and then you move into the student loan. You know what I mean? That's what you need to do. I'm gonna show you guys how I would set up my payment calendar or my payment spreadsheet if I had a lot of debt like that. I would let me share my screen. So those of you guys who are listening on the podcast platform, whenever you get a chance, I encourage you to go slide on over to Roger Sarn on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I urge you to go over there and just take a snapshot of what I have there, right? So what I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and I would list all my debt. So from left to right, what I would do is the first column is going to be the creditor owed. The next column that I would I messed up. Yeah, the next column that I would do is the balance, right? All the balances, and then the next column I will write the rate. Then after that, column number 4 would be minimum payment that you have to make in order to keep it going. Because when you're doing each method, you're using minimum payment. You're paying the bulk on whatever it is you're focusing on, but you're still having to pay the minimum payment. Then if you're doing any extra payments, because I'm sure plenty of you put extra money on your debt. So if you're doing extra payments, you would have the 5th column for that. Then under that, I would just add up the balance of what my total debt is. And then I would add the total amount of what my minimum payment is. And then I would kind of like just keep that in mind, right? The total monthly is kind of like I would do another column, another cell with the total monthly, and then I would do another cell for the extra payments, kind of like breaking everything down so you can see exactly what it is. Because if you don't see anything, if you don't see it, you don't visualize it, like you don't see it perfectly, you're not gonna do it. It's just not gonna happen because you're gonna forget whatever have you, right? And for some reason, I don't know why this is okay. Yeah, it's right. So I listed as in, let's say you have credit card one, credit card two, you have a car payment. And I see this a lot because you have your spouse. So plenty of times people have two cars. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very hard, especially here in Texas, to just survive on one car. That's just it. It's the nature of the beast. So hopefully, either you have a side hustle. We'll do a video on that, on the top 3 side hustles that you can open with minimal overhead, like the minimum startup amount. But yes, you're gonna have a car, and sometimes you have a truck or SUV, whichever one. Sometimes you have student loans, sometimes you have personal loans, and many of you will have a mortgage. So I list all of those, right? And that's gonna be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 debts, and then go accordingly, as I said. All right. So visualization is key. This is what I do with all my stuff that I have, with all my investments, payments, whatever it is that I have, because I still have mortgages to take care of. Uh, and I use charge cards because I want the points and all that cool stuff. Made a video on that. I'll link it up here so you guys can go ahead and watch it. It's just, for me, it works that way. For me, it works that way. Hopefully, you guys adapt this same strategy and look at it. But I'll get off my soapbox again. So in summary, the debt avalanche method, it focuses on minimizing the interest payments by hitting all the high interest rates first, right? All that debt first. Then you have, on the flip side, you're going to have the debt snowball method, which is going to prioritize the small victories, and it's mainly building momentum by knocking out all the smaller debt to largest debt. So the choice just depends on what your individual financial goals are, what your preference are, and what your psychological factors, right? If you're more on the that you need to get that dopamine hit quick, and feel better, then obviously you're going to do that snowball method. If you're all about longevity and making using the least amount of money, or saving the most amount of money, saving the most amount of money, then you might want to go with the avalanche. It all depends. Tell me in the comments which one you think you're going to go with. So that's it for today, guys. Took about less than 20 minutes of your time. If you're on YouTube, like I said, please like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. If you're listening on the podcast, go ahead and leave a review and a download, and I'll appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, you want to be on the show, rogersarn@gmail.com. Follow my socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Hit the Discord up. Let's build this community. Stop joking around. All of those are at Roger Sarn, and if not, they're in the description below. Last thing I got to say is, remember, you don't have to embrace the suck if you got the right tools in your ruck. I'm Sarn Cruz, and I'm out. Peace.
Roger Sarn.